Today, let's talk about what is the DOM. I want to kind of visualize it for you. I want to talk about it a little bit, and I want you to have answers when someone asks you what it is. I talk about it when I'm telling people what my job is, and they're always like, DOM? Who's DOM? I'm assuming that there are more people that don't know what the DOM is. So we're talking today about DOM, D-O-M. It is short for Document Object Model. We write HTML code, which is just text, right? That text though gets read by this computer and turned into something that it can then draw. It takes all that text and turns it into sort of these tangible things that you can then query and change and modify, delete, insert. Your document object model is a tree. You couldn't see it until tools like Firebug that made the web page not look so text heavy, but became sort of tangible. To help kind of see what the DOM is, follow over here to the Google Chrome DevTools. They're going to really help us out. DevTools will help us see that tree. It will have converted all of our text. Well, here, let's just go look at it, right? Let's just go look. I don't have to describe it to you. It's right there. Over here, we have google.com. I just hit a hotkey to open that up. That's Command-Shift-C on Mac. If we come to the Elements panel, so in case you're in a different panel, this is one you want to be in. This is one way to think or see the DOM. The DOM is, in its purest form, is an object in memory. And you can't really see that as a human. It doesn't really have a shape that you can go touch. You can print it and you can explore it and you can crawl it and you can sort of open up all its little trees. And that's essentially what we get with the DevTools here. So if I open this up, and the HTML file has a bunch of other child elements. And when we wrote that in HTML, we articulated that with opening and closing tags, right? Well, and here we are in the DevTools, and the DevTools makes it very literal in that I can like open and close them. I can twirl them open. Look, I can click HTML, and in the top right here, I can see the properties and the styles that are being attached to that. So that's part of where we have CSS and we have HTML. Now CSS got read and turned into a CSS object model, CSS-OM, but today we're talking about the document object model. Our HTML got turned into this. And with that, we can start to target those items with our CSS, and it'll go find them and modify the node there. DevTools has shown us this connection. It's right here. If I click on the body, I'll even get to see all the styles on the body tag. There they are. We have a background color, a font size, and I can go change them, of course, which is really fun. If I just click the color here and I go to red, I can change the color to red. Turns out nothing on this page is using the inherited body color, so that didn't do anything, but still I have the power of changing it here, and that's just a whole other DevTools video. You should go watch Design in the Browser by Una Kravitz. She'll show you how to use the DevTools to do some design work. I'm going to expand the body tag here, and then I'm going to find an important div like this one, Control P, and try to find some of this content that's in here. Looks like it's in this div. I am exploring the DOM visually through this elements tree that is just so conveniently and well made by the DevTools team. That is one way to think about the DOM. The DevTools makes it awesome. You can also use this element selector and hover around a page, and things sort of feel very tangible, but really it's code representing those. Through CSS and some clever JavaScript, people are looking to see where you're hovering in that document, finding the relevant HTML code, and then highlighting its drawable space. All of it just so that you as a human can understand more about the HTML that you wrote. While we have the Elements panel, which is a superb, tangible, visual way to see and interact with the DOM, there's also more of a JavaScript fashion that we can talk about through our console. So let's go look at the console. Right down here, we can say document.body. And we can, if I hit enter, we will get a very similar presentation to what we got inside of the Elements panel, if not the same. Look at this. This is really high quality. Well done, DevTools team. So that's just an object. That's a JavaScript object that they've richly parsed and printed really nice. They made it look easy. But what we see there from JavaScript, document.body, that's just the pure data, and you can drill into it the same way that you do a JSON object that you got back from a server. It's just like a piece of data. It's a packet. Turns out this one's really big, and it also has functions on it. So the document object model is not just data, so it's not as succinct or as small as you'd find with JSON, because it offers functions. These are evaluated and they're ready to fire. So the document object model gets accessed by JavaScript. It gets accessed by Chrome that needs to draw it. Really important thing that gets created out of your code. Your code gets read and turned into an object that then can be represented in various formats. You're going to be modifying that tree directly, and there's other things watching that tree, and that tree can propagate out events, and it gets very complex. HTML turned into an object that can be very well visualized. We need to be creating and modifying this document object model for our users, for our designers, and delivering something that's small, minimal, and rad. I hope this explained the DOM. Take care.